Alright, so I finally got verification that this is a hinge and this part should be able to flip all the way over 180 degrees, if not more. So that means all my hinges are seized. So I decided to throw it in vinegar to see if there's any rust that it could dissolve, which I think is a good idea, but it really jacked up everything to where I'm going to have to re-blast. So I'm not thrilled about that. I kind of knew that as I was dipping them in, and sure enough, so you know, you look at all this and it's just, it looks like we're starting from scratch again. But in any case, I got some penetrating grease on all this stuff, so I'm just going to let it sit and see where it goes. So in the meantime, I'm going to work on all the other things I can work on, which is the rest of the frames over here and the vents. And for now, I'm going to sand all this stuff, and then what I believe I'm going to do is paint the inside of my vent windows and get that to where it's dry. So hopefully maybe next weekend I could actually stick in like a tile backing, I don't know what they call it, but it's like a little 1/4 inch foam tube. I could shove that in there. Now that it's all painted, block it from getting any of the other materials, and then shoot the rest of it and go all the way to finished product. So we'll see. One of the things I'm contemplating is whether I keep this attached or not attached in this case. When it's attached, I seem to have a little bit more control over this, and when it's not attached, it's kind of like all over the place. So I might be able to just put more tension on the spring, and that will keep it to where I could have it not attached but have some stability to it. So we'll see. You know, I'm kind of taking this slow because I honestly don't know how I'm going to be hanging this stuff. It looks like it'll be easy to hang the back end of these through these little holes at the very back, which is, you know, inside the frame, so no one would see any spray deviance on the outside. But that's kind of where we're at. So we're gonna try sanding this stuff and seeing where we go. Most of these are cleared out really nice, and then I kind of found out that I missed one, and this other one is a little bit missed. And then I kind of started scraping through stuff and found a little bit more, you know, rubber inside. So I think what I'm going to do is at least put 2 of them back into media blast the insides of those, just get that carved out a little bit more. And then these, I almost feel like I need to treat these separately. I don't want to take them off. And some of these were painted black before, which is what I'm going to do. But I'm going to actually fix some of this, get rid of that, and you know, make them look a little bit nicer. Not too crazy. It's a pretty intricate system. Stuff going inside, twisting. I got all the sand out of them from blasting or media, and so this half is kind of ready to go, except for those 2 that need to be blasted. And then I'm just waiting on these puppies, and there has not been a budge yet. I stick a nice flat plate in there and see if it moves, but nothing's moving. So I don't know if that's a few days. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get these going, but we just kind of lost 2 weeks. Put it in the vinegar, I just lost 2 weeks. It would have been better just to put the oil on it and have everything look perfect, and then not have to blast it again. I can see there's stuff in there I need to get out. In fact, that's probably the newest frame. So, new to me at least. So, we'll see. A little bit of a process here. But I'm pretty much, you know, my air conditioner, the blades stopped working because they fold up after it's done, and then they open up, and they were locked closed, and so they're gonna, under warranty, replace this unit. But they hand clock this stuff open, and it still moves, but now like the clocking of the gear is a little bit different, so it never closes all the way back up. But at least I got air in here, and so, you know, as I'm sanding, I got wind blowing across me, so I don't have to worry too much about the dust. This thing's ready to go, and you know, just kind of sitting here waiting to clean up and then just paint. And we're gonna kind of see where all this goes, and then kind of reevaluate. But I feel like we're definitely getting somewhere and turning a corner on these parts. And then I'm going to start researching what I want to do with some of this stuff once my weather stripping comes in, and see where we're at on that. So we've been really digging into multiple ways of trying to break free on this hinge. And, you know, I did the vinegar, which, you know, took some rust off, but also caused some rust with the evaporation. It's just kind of discolored. But then we tried torching. That didn't work. You know, of course, all your penetrating grease, WD-40, all that stuff, that didn't work. So these have been sitting in CLR for at least 2 days, and which actually worked out really nice. You could really cleaned everything up. If I can't get them to move after that, then we move on. Because the pop-out windows worked anyways without these moving before, so what do I care? That's the way I look at it. So trying to do the right thing, but there's only so much you could do. It's kind of pushing me back. I thought this would be being painted this morning already, and it's not. So it could be another week before I get these in the paint booth, depending on what's going on. So it's just kind of pushing back. Even though I'm multitasking all day long, I like to finish something before I move on. And this is one of the last things I need to do. And the most difficult thing I think I'm going to be painting on the whole truck, besides the truck itself. And then I can move on. Move on to bigger and better things, get to the body of the van. I got a box of goodies that just came in, so we're going to kind of look at that stuff, and that's going to help me decipher what's going on with some of the other parts. But yeah, this is kind of like a milestone if I can get through it. So I'm going to crank up some air conditioning. We're going to take a look at this and see if we could get this moving. We got a chance to get in the blast cabinet. I still got to do my final sanding. Got most of everything off of there. Really got into the edges as best as possible. It's a lot cleaner than it was before. So, and I made an executive decision to forget about the hinges. We'll just move forward and make this stuff happen, because I think I'm just gonna, with the amount of stuff I've tried, I feel like I'm just gonna screw it up, and then I'm really screwed. So they were working as they were as is, so let's just leave it as is and keep going. So I'm going to do some sanding, and I got to retouch up a few areas where I hit the gun on the other 4 frames that are already sanded, but I mean just barely, and move forward on these puppies. Alright, so we got the last one here. All the other ones are finished. We have one little pinhole that I'm trying to fill. And then I'm going to sand that, get that done. And then there's a few little areas. Every once in a while there's some deep rust. And over here I don't think there's any issues, but on some other ones where that was there, I blasted a lot of it out. And there's just a few pinholes that I'll probably use some kind of JB weld, fill that up, and kind of get that going today so it's all ready to go. And then possibly tomorrow, if the weather's good, I could try shooting these. I haven't come up with a master plan, if you will, to shoot these, mainly because of these latches. I'm going to spray the latches too. So, and then I was talking to Greg, if you remember Greg from the 33, about, how low an air pressure could go to get a smaller, detailed fan on there without going too dry. And he was kind of mentioning it's a lot easier just to throttle the trigger. So if it's too dry, then you could just give it a little bit more. I think what I'll do is I'll kind of marry the two together so I don't accidentally pull the trigger all the way and got drips going everywhere because I just hit it too hard. But try to find that happy medium, happy balance between spraying smaller parts like this But he was kind of saying you definitely kind of want to still keep it in a fan, so you get the spray going on the way you're used to it going on. So you're going to waste a little bit of paint, but it's going to go on nicer. So I agree with that, because anytime I've gone to a circle, of course there's more paint hitting per square inch, so you have to back off the liquid. So you back off the liquid, and then like it's so focused that you could really put drips in easy. So maybe a smaller fan, and kind of, I don't want to say dusting it on, but really controlling that trigger. So we'll just have to see. And I need to spray that too. And I'm just, I don't even think I want to deal with that, because it's a different animal, full spray, full everything. And while I'm mixing this stuff, yeah, it'd be nice to, got the epoxy primer out, let's do all at once, but it's too much. I think with these, I have to figure out a way that I could spray them while they're all hanging and I don't have to pick them up and move them around. Or hang them so I do have to pick them up and move them around, but the latch is in a way that it's fully extended at all times and it doesn't collapse into itself and cause issues. So that's what I don't know. So, but that's 2 steps ahead. I have to get the epoxy out, get that going. And then I want to spray these fully, but I still want to label them. So I'm thinking about maybe etching them, but I think my primer is just going to fill that etch. So I don't know. We got to come up with something. Not sure what. So this stuff sets in 1 minute, cures in 1 hour. Somewhere around, it was 32 or 2300, was it PSI tensile strength or whatever. So that's all good to go. And the only other thing we need to do is just clean these up, wax and grease, remove them, and get them ready to spray. I was able to get all the frames cleaned up, labeled, ready to hang. I ended up putting the tags on the hangers, which made sense, and then kind of locked it in so they can't fall off. Forgot I got my vent frames. Those are all done. And then just in case, I have this all wax and grease removed, ready to go. So we're just gonna have to see how things go, and if there's time or space or whatever, then this is there. Or I got extra stuff left over and I want to dig in, it's ready to go. And this thing I'm able to grab from the back hinge areas. So yeah, we're kind of lined up, ready to go, and we're gonna see what happens. So I had to set the camera down for this one because it's just been way too intricate trying to get this stuff done, and they're long enough that I can't get many on the beam holding it outside, and then even getting it in here, like I try to put something next to each other, and because of the twist of the cable it would start going into each other. And so there's little nuances, like this hit my shoulder, so there's a little thing there. I just had this cable hit this one. So, you know, this is supposed to be the best of the best, and I'm just getting compromised. It's been really, really difficult. So I made makeshift areas. So my regular hooks did not fit inside of the holes to hang this stuff, so I had to go with just regular wire, and the wire is unpredictable. So that's made it complicated, and these hinges have made it really complicated. So what I did was got one coat of epoxy on all the stuff, and then I just added extra epoxy on the handle and not the rest of it because I don't want to build up on it. I just wanted to get something on there. So I think I'm probably going to have to sand these to make them look the way I want them to look, instead of going straight to black. So that's not good. And then the other thing is I went through a whole thing and I'm not done. So I got 4 more of these, and if I'm mixing up, I might as well do this. Now this I could use the regular hooks for, pop it anywhere I want, no issues with that. But I'm still kind of using the wires on these and trying to figure out where else could I put these. I really don't want to put these next to the car. Even this is a little scary because if it did let go, it would hit the ground and flip up and slam into the car. And, you know, I could put a, you know, moving blanket barrier over here, which is actually a good idea, but I don't want to touch the car because that will just scratch the car. So I need to, like, once I'm done with the ladder, put the ladder over here. I don't know. I literally don't know. But again, wish I had a facility. None of this would be an issue. So, and it makes me want to get, these hooks are awesome, but these are like powder coating hooks, but they're too thick. So I need to get a batch of thinner ones that are solid like that, so I could do stuff like this and not have any of these issues, and then I could still hook them on my garage without having this makeshift stuff. So, and the only way I could get this one to not turn was to actually get it through a hole that just so happened to be there, and that's why that one's staying. Otherwise, if it was hanging there, it would just collapse into the other one. So, a little bit difficult, and just trying to do the best I can with this stuff. But I'm definitely not hitting it, and it's been super, super windy, so that's not helping either. I got a really, really late start today, and you can see we're hitting 100 outside, 86 in the garage. I didn't really start till 10 o'clock spraying, which normally I'd be out here at 6 o'clock spraying or 6:30, which is the right thing to do. I just didn't wake up today, didn't want to do it. I don't know what the deal was, but it wasn't happening. So I do want to get primer epoxy on this stuff. I think what I can do is spray it and just leave it outside until it cures in the sun, because I have no other options here. There's nowhere else to put it. And then it was supposed to be raining by 11 o'clock, like massive rain and storms, and it's totally clear out. I mean, it's not bad at all. Of course, Arizona turns on a dime, so I think they pushed the 11 forecast over to 2 p.m. So I don't have a lot of time for baking out here, but a decent amount. And then the only problem is the stuff's hanging on the ladders. I could bring the ladders in and hang stuff again, but it's hanging on the ladders while it's out there. So when you just feel boxed in, that's the best way I could put it. I just feel boxed in at all times. But in any case, I'm going to mix up another batch. There's a good 30-minute induction period, especially if you're putting a reducer in there, which I am due to the temperature outside. So that's what we got. So I'm out here spraying on my beautiful, nice day. and I'm on my first coat, and I start hearing, you know, rumblings of thunder, and I'm like, what the hell? And I look up, and I can't tell what direction it's going. And I looked at Tucson Raider, and there's nothing on the Tucson Raider. This is the kind of craziness in Tucson, in Arizona in general, so we'll see. Just gonna keep going. So I was in the middle of shooting, and I showed to the sky before, and now it's like literally directly above me, so I had to grab everything, spray as quickly as I can, and hang the stuff up. Again, not going as planned. Jeez. Not going as planned at all. And I only got one coat so far. Ran out of another thing. I decided, like, should I get a second coat on the other ones, and there just wasn't enough drying time for me to get a second coat on those before a storm came. So what I need to do is clean this gun out, probably call it a day or pick it back up in a few hours. We'll have to see. If I can pick it up in a few hours, I will get a second coat on there. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's blaring sun at the time, the mix is just a little bit thinner, but I'm getting a few more drips this time than last time. I didn't really have too much issues, but this time I'm getting drips, so it's definitely going to have to be sanded. This is fine. However, it was blowing in the wind like it would blow like 2 feet over while I'm spraying. It was pretty nuts. So I'm just going to kick back, clean my gun, and we'll see what happens. All right, so we waited for that storm to go by, hopped back out there. A few hours later, you can see nice and clear again. And got everything sprayed. Everything's looking more white now. I'm going to have to fix a few little drips here and there on some of the frames. I'm also going to look at some of the weather stripping to see. I don't know how much of this is actually overrun by weather stripping and how much is actually exposed. So we're going to see, kind of take a look at that, and then see if there's stuff that I really shouldn't worry about and keep going. But there's other things like, you know, right there, there's a drip. Right there's a drip. And I think that was a drip from spray 1, and then I just sprayed over it with spray 2 because this stuff needs to cure forever to actually sand it. So go let it sit overnight. It will cure, then I'll actually sand it, and then hopefully go straight to black, straight to clear. So we will see. One of the problems with doing this is the chemical window. So if I wanted to spray, let's say, color or base right now, I'd have to wait 4 hours before this would be ready to spray. If I wait too long, then you have to respray it. You have to actually sand it and then respray it with well, if you're within a certain day period, you could actually respray the epoxy and then spray, wait 4 hours and then spray again your color base. But if you wait too long, and of course, those are all at 70 degrees and I'm sitting there at 100 degrees. So I feel like my timelines are probably less than half of what's stated. You know, I don't want to respray. This was difficult enough to do this, so I don't want to have to redo it again. So the idea is let this dry overnight, come in early, sand out all the drips without making any mistakes. That's the key. And then start spraying color and then clear. That's the idea. So yeah. So I do have tomorrow to be able to dig into this, but I don't have the day after. I got to get back to work. So we're on a timeline. We'll see what happens. So this is all the weather stripping that I got, and wanted to double check what was in this tube, because like I said before, I don't want to restore a bunch of parts that I don't need to because it's already here. So this is definitely to the front doors. However, I have to see what it actually looks like compared to the original. So it looks like these two pieces kind of match up to some pieces that came off the van. This, I'm assuming, maybe goes around the whole outer side of the top of the window in the door. Not sure. So that's that. Cargo door seal. Cargo door seal. Push out window gasket. Push out window gasket. Push out window gasket. Push out window. There's all my pop outs. Windshield. I'm assuming this has to do with my air vents. So that's the only thing that kind of lines up with. Rubber seal. Door glass seal pair. Window rubber seal. This is for my pop outs. I don't know if it's for. This might be for the pop outs. Window rubber seal here. Don't know what this is. Front vent windows. This looks like the front doors. This is for my vent windows. So this kit is made from 3 different manufacturers, compiled, put together. Definitely steel products, Dennis Carpenter products, and I'm not sure what the rest of it is, but it's kind of pricey to do a window van like this. We're somewhere in the range of $1,500 to $1,800 for all this stuff, but well needed, and not too many places to get this anymore. So I kind of was waiting on some promotions and things to do stuff with this, and I decided, you know what, without this I'm screwed. So I'm not waiting anymore. I am going to buy, get it here, and even if it's not installed for a year, I have it. That's all I care about. So that's kind of what I've what my plan was for all this. All right, so we got everything figured out, went through inventory. What we have is windshield, 2 little upside down triangle windows, rear door windows. So that's different than my side windows because my side windows are pop outs. So you got 2 rear door windows, and there's 2 different types, one with the lip, one without. So got that for a set. Then we have our 2 big side windows towards the back of the vehicle. These are our front, side, and rear door door seals. We have all our vent stuff. And then this is actually, there's 4 rubbers that go to the body of the 4 pop-out windows. Then there's 4 that go around the glass. Then there's 4 that go around the frame. And then the frame actually meets this one, and that's what makes your seal. And then we have our kit for the front windows to go up and down all the sliders, I guess, basically. So it looks like I have everything that I need. Some of the numbers, most of all the stuff in packaging, the numbers line up except for the vent stuff. I think this is a new kit compared to the numbers I have on my list. And then this, they kind of say, here's the kit, but the numbers on the box don't really match what I have, even though it kind of looks like it's right. So I have to verify a few things, but for the most part, looks like everything's good. So we have everything drying in the garage, and everything's looking very good, all white, perfect. So we're gonna let this stuff bake. Let's see what the temperature is too. And it's 95 in the garage right now. It's 101 outside. So we're gonna let this stuff bake in here and kind of do any kind of fixes tomorrow morning, and then hopefully get some black and clear on this stuff and literally get this off the plate. Just get it off the plate. Not really interested in this one. So, and you can tell everything's a disaster. But that's how it is when you're a slave to the chemical window. So one of the things I'll say is when you're finally done with your second coat of clear and you're working your way back over to putting it back up permanently and you're never going to take it back out and spray it again, there's a downhill feeling that you get, like things are happening and you're actually accomplishing something. So it was pretty rough painting conditions. Some stuff looks pretty smooth. It looks pretty smooth. I'm not worried about the inside or anything, and that it's rougher than normal. You know, there's times where I go, I'm going to sand and buff this, And then there's times where I go, yeah, I'm asking for more trouble than I want. Is it as smooth as I want it to be? No, it's not. It's a little bit orange peely. I actually shot the clear with a different gun because I was having so many failures. And I just can't see out there. The sun is just so blaring. This came out pretty decent. But a little bit more peely, orange peely than expected compared to like all the other stuff I've shot. So once it all dries, we'll see what we want to do. But I'm even seeing reflections now where I was worried about it dripping, and you know, with this clear you could actually load it on pretty well without it dripping. But you know, like I got a few spots. Now this was only like 8 inches off the ground, and you can see I got a few drips right there. I'm not too worried about it. This is going to be covered in leather, so not worried about that. I'll probably take those drips off and polish it off, but yeah, just looking from afar, I could see some reflections that I'm like, that's not to my standard. What I'd like to do is lay them all down on a table and spray it one more time. Just on the one side, forget the other side. That's probably a really good idea. That I'm probably willing to do. Looks like we're a little shy on the clear over here. It's just so hard to see. Over here it's brilliant. This part of the frame goes inside the truck, so you can't really see that, so I'm not worried about that. This one looked like it moved. This one looks really good. This is the one I held up by hand. It's like I got better if it was by hand. The other thing that's kind of interesting, and I wonder if this is it's a gold flake and a black paint, and there's times where the sun was barreling on it that it almost kind of had a green hue. And I almost wonder if that's not as enough black coverage on there to where it should just be black and gold, because I didn't notice that with like the headlight pieces, the bowls for the headlight. Where this, I noticed that a little bit, and it's like, but I got, a good 2 spray sessions, which, had a few passes each. So, at least four sprays on each side. That's pretty good. I'm usually not doing more than that for parts. But I don't know. We will see. Orange and green aren't a bad thing. I hate green though. Green's not my favorite color. In fact, it's probably my worst color. The only green I like is the Jeeps and Lamborghinis and stuff have this kind of metallic green that's just insane looking. It's awesome looking. Oh, the green from a Mercedes AMG, that looks amazing. So, but other than that, I don't like any other greens, forest greens, all that stuff. Just on cars at least, doesn't look good. I don't mind grass. Grass looks nice. Trees look nice. So we're gonna call it a day. Let this stuff dry. I'm keeping a breeze going on here with the door open, just letting that air out. This is a cluster F, and so I had more cup failures, and I got the cup sealed. I press, I double check, there's nothing split. I screw it all in, should be 100% tight. And what I notice is as the like when I started spraying black, the fluid was coming out like crazy, and I'm like, why is it coming out so crazy? And I kept dialing it down, dialing it down, dialing it down. And then like 3/4 of the way through painting, I noticed that, oh, I got a cup failure happening, and I didn't know it. And the reason that the paint was coming out so much is because it's not a sealed system, and the cup isn't collapsing. Air's going in there and just feeding like crazy. So it's like, oh, okay, so that's how I know I have a cup failure, is the gun setup seems weird. So I fix the cup, I seal it back down, which again, it was fine when I started to begin with, so I don't know why it failed. And all of a sudden, it was starved, and it was spraying the way it should have been, where the settings were. And I was like, okay, so that makes sense. Okay, got that figured out. But at the end of the day, I'm paying $150 for all these cups, and I'm having failures like crazy, and it's just pouring all over the place, and it just sucks anyways. And so I don't know why I keep fooling myself thinking it's me. It's not me. Like maybe version 1 sucks and version 2 is better. I don't know. But it's just way too expensive to even get into version 2. So at this point, I think I'm going to keep the cups that I have and use it for spraying undercoatings and stuff where I'm underneath the vehicle and I need to spray upside down and I need that sealed system, and just hope that 50% of the time they'll work. And if it doesn't work, I take it apart and pour it into a new one and start over. Like, I don't know how else to fix it. And then I'm just going to buy some real cups and use that for everything else, because when I went to spray the clear, I ended up going with my actual cup. And guess what? It sprayed fine and I had no failures. So yeah, this whole cup thing it's a money grab is what it is. Look at that. I mean, that's a mess. My area is not that dirty when I'm not using cups. The cups create chaos. So it messes with your gun. It spills all over the place. Like, it's just, it's all over your hands. Now it's all over your gun. Then the gun looks my gun should be nice and pretty, and there's just stuff all over it, because what's happening is it's leaking and just pouring down the side of the gun, pouring down your hands. It's just, the cup gets all, or the nut for the cup gets all jacked up. Look at the cup. Now I can't use this cup anymore because it's all jacked up, and this is brand new. So it's just stupid. It's literally stupid. So I don't know. I just don't get it. All right, so I had a chance to let this stuff dry. I sanded just the one edge all the way around, and then I laid these flat, kind of like they are now. And then over here, I was able to get them really flat because they don't have the hinge, and get them a lot more, less orange peel. So they came out really good. Are they perfect? No, but they're within spec. I mean, a lot better. Before it was looking pretty brutal. So it really thinned out, and it was nice and flat. Now, it would have probably been perfect if I was shooting in 70 degrees, because it would have had more time to spread out. And of course, I'm shooting at 100 degrees. So, can I do better? Yes. What am I supposed to do? Wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do this? No, I'm not going to do that. So it is what it is. It's within the window it's within the window. We'll just put it that way. The frames are within the window. It's not perfect, but it's good. So I'm happy with it. And I got the one vent frame dialed in too. And it looks pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see. Probably 2 months from now, I'm going to look at this stuff when it's sitting in the bedroom, and I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever, don't care. Now, if they do make a little tiny polisher that I could use, see, the problem is when you go to polish, you burn the edges. And so something like this, it's kind of hard to sand and polish. And if anybody has ideas on that, I'm all ears. But after, like, I'll let this stuff cure for like 3 weeks. I could actually put these windows together with all the rubbers and stuff like that and start, screwing them together and having them ready to go, and just put them off to the side. So that would be nice to do. But if there is a way of sanding a few nibs and polishing these out, I'm all ears.